Welcome back to Canadian Disc Golf Productions. This is the final 9 of Project 15 Open, the first of the OCC qualifier stops. I am Chris Brown.
And I'm Wallace Kent.
Here we go. So this is it. If you didn't watch the front 9 of the second round, I would recommend go back and watching it. But here we go. So hole 10. First off, Martin Hendel is leading our tournament so far. I am Chris Brown, that is me, wiping my face off. Abraham Neufeld. And then Isaiah. Super happy to be here. Now we're on hole 10. So if you remember hole 10 from the first round, you wanted to throw from right here past the big tree on the right. Now what we do is we push the tee pad back and to the left 200 feet and make you have to land on that tee pad in order to throw your second shot.
It's about a 200-foot shot from the long tee pad to where the current short tee pad is, where we played from in the first round. Then once you get from there, you want to get past that big white oak, and then from there you're going to have your last upshot towards the basket. Bit of a uphill slope.
This is a par 5, and it's every bit of a par 5. You need to make 3 perfect shots in order to get your 4. And not all of them have trees in the way. They all probably have some rough footing. So if you look straight ahead at that white tree, you either want to go just to the right of it, and sort of like Marty is doing here. Oh, but then he catches that last tree. If he got past that, he would have been in the perfect location. Or you can take like an inside route to the left of the white tree, but that one puts in a lot more danger, as Abe gets redirected around almost to the perfect landing zone. At 200 feet, most of us are just throwing a putter, just trying to get it straight.
That one coming out a little bit of a hyzer.
Yeah, going down that left route, try to get the extra distance. Isaiah, I think, is taking, I want to say this is a buzz, but I can't be certain at this moment. He's coming the left route as well.
Getting lucky, not hitting anything.
Yeah, so this is where Abe came, probably 15 feet from being in the perfect spot. Gives you good footing, gives you a good throw. You can see why everybody's trying to aim for it.
Now this hole is playing as the hardest hole of the round, coming in at .64 over par.
That's .64 over a par 5. So you can see how difficult this hole is. Martin Hendel going to the forehand. This is not something you'll see often, but he is very proficient at it. He knows how to do it.
It's just not what we call his strong suit, but
Yeah.
a lot of good lucky kicks off 3 different rocks.
Yeah,
Keeps him up on the edge of the fairway.
Yeah, both Abe and Marty getting a little too over on it, trying to get that flex. Isaiah able to just go standstill backhand, trying getting himself to the perfect location. That's not bad. A little short, if anything, but not too bad. Now myself, I do not call myself a forehander, so I'm pretty happy when one works out. That's not too bad. Flexes it nicely, but it just comes up short of that white. What was it?
The white oak.
The white oak? Nice.
The giant white oak of the fairway.
Nice. Marty's third shot, just trying to get up to the corner. None of us are really getting great footing or great spots on this hole. Nobody really got around to the corner to be able to attack for the 3. But the 4 is definitely in play.
And here's Abraham letting up another forehand. Just kicks off that tree. Still far enough past that white oak and around the bend that he'll be able to see the basket on his next shot.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are trying to figure out your bearings.
Yeah, you're just trying to get up around that juniper right in the middle of the fairway, just so you get your easy up shot.
Second forehand in a row.
I know. Every year I come out of this course with a better standstill forehand because of the footing. And
that was your Firebird, wasn't it?
It was a Justice.
Your Justice.
Yeah. Just trying to play position golf around the corner. It goes a little long on me. This is Isaiah's third shot, if I'm not mistaken. And that comes out a little low. Okay, so he's got the wide open gap. He can pick and choose where he wants to go.
Got about a 250-foot up shot, trying to get to the basket.
Wish I could remember what this disc was. I should know it, but right now it's blanking on me. He throws it a lot on this day.
I wanna go out on a limb and say Pyro.
That makes a lot of sense.
Being the MVP, overstable.
That makes a lot of sense.
Here you are with your AVR X3.
Mm-hmm. So I, again, just pinch myself off a little bit. Have to go back to the forehand.
Third forehand in a row.
Call me a forehand master soon. The that tree on the right side of your screen, it just blocked any sort of approach shot that was coming in from that angle. As Isaiah drops a nice one up there. Marty kind of got an awkward angle here, kind of pulling himself away from the tree. He'll get up and down. That's pretty good.
Sets himself up for a nice spot to chase his par.
Mm-hmm. From about circle's edge or so. This one will be for my par.
And just chains out.
Yeah, it's not really committing to the putt. I wonder who Isaiah's waving to. Maybe just as Abe is about to try and drop in his 5. He does just that. Very confident putt.
And Isaiah lining up his par.
A lot of pars on this hole this day.
One birdie this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Toe
with a great 4. Something you dream about when you're looking at this hole. If you haven't played this course, which a lot of you I'm sure haven't, as Gabe likes to keep this place pretty private. But then this hole, you'll understand how difficult it is from the longs.
and taking the lone bogey on the card.
That's right. And that's okay. Could be a lot worse on that hole, that's for sure. Only losing one stroke to the leader isn't the end of the world. Hole 11.
This round we're playing it from the longs, and as you can see, it is 320 feet. It's had some work done on the hole. A few trees been cut down, widened up the fairway a little bit. And as you can see, it's got that one ancestor pine, and that's why the hole is called Ancestor.
Mm-hmm. That big, scary movie looking tree right in the middle of the fairway. Marty looks to avoid it altogether by taking the hyzer route off to the right. If you hit it perfectly, it filters right to the basket, and it offers very little risk because anything that hits one of those trees is not going to kick that far right, and anything hit and then keep you in the middle of the fairway. As Marty actually gets a right kick into the right side. Abe gets really skinny there through that gap.
Gets the kick off the down tree.
He knows it too. Isaiah going Luna, just trying to hit the gap high and float it all the way down there.
And she turns and just goes right into that big pine.
Big old scary pine.
What are you showing us here, Chris?
This is a T-bird. I like to throw it flat to a little bit of Annie right down the middle gap and hope I get through the trees at the end. Although after watching Marty throw that hyzer, it just seems to make that comes out early again. And here we are, just way off from this stuff. You can see all the stuff, all the work that Gabe's been doing, just all the piles of wood and branches and sticks and stuff like that.
You're in relatively the same place as the first round, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. The first round I was parked. But this was, who was over here? I can't remember who was over here. Maybe, but either way, it's catches a tree coming out. Long putt for my par. Marty not in an optimal location with that tree, that bunch of branches in his backswing, but he manages to pull it off. Really pushes that disc through. That's gonna be about 30 feet long, I'm assuming. A little slow motion here to show you what he had to deal with. Almost puts it in, ends up a little bit long. Isaiah, tough go. It's hard to see what's to the left of that tree. It looks like it's wide open, but I guarantee you there are trees and branches everywhere.
Gives it a nice hyzer layup.
Oh, sails it though.
A little bit long, but he'll have an open and wide putt for his par.
Mm-hmm. See if I can't bounce back after that missed putt on the last hole. Ooh, didn't like it out of my hand. Tried to push it a little too hard. I'm thinking Marty actually slid a little farther away than it looked. Maybe circle's edge. Oh, dead center with authority.
Big par save right there from Marty.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's huge, actually. He's been, I don't know, he hasn't been missing putts, but he hasn't made a big putt in a while. So to make this one, I'm sure, felt real good. Centers himself. Got that from the stomach, nose up spinner. It's just a pleasure to watch.
You can see how far he's got his thumb into the center of the disc to help him generate as much spin as he possibly can.
Isaiah from also circles edge, maybe a little inside. Oh,
just off the cage.
That just dropped on him too. It looked good until it just got to the basket and it fell. This is Abe's 2. He hits the band. Okay, time to clean up the bogey.
Cursed basket 11.
From about 20 feet and touched one chain on the way by. I think I saw Marty jam his and that got in my head and I'm like, I need to jam mine too. So from farther away.
Hits the comebacker.
Yep. Is what it is. Some days it doesn't go your way as Abe taps in his 3 after that missed putt. Beautiful. Hole 12 from the longs. It used to be from the shorts you throw through this gap, try to get across to the basket. From the longs, the optimal play is if you just get it through this gap and get yourself a long layup for your 3, you are doing great. A lot of the times people will get caught up on the sumacs on the right or maybe go a little bit early or a little bit low or a little bit high. Honestly, any miss is a tough one on this one. You can also take a high flexing shot if you go above the trees to the right and you just flex it out perfectly. You can get up and down, but there's a lot of branches in the way that can knock you into the sumacs.
There's Marty trying to get everything that he can on it.
Yeah, just laying that one up to the mouth. It looks like gave it a good throw, but that one's actually perfect for the conservative play.
Here's Abe with a nice power backhand.
That also looks like the good spot right in the mouth.
From the tee to the crest of that hill is 290 feet from the long tee pad.
So they're all probably going some sort of overstable fairway just to get a good second shot out.
You can see Isaiah doing the same thing.
Yeah, that looks great. Look, maybe
checking up perfectly on the hill there. He'll have a clean shot, straight line to the basket from there.
really gave everything I had in this one, trying to get it around the trees. And I did. I got it over it all. Marty from just on this side of the mound has to clear the gap and get it stopped by the basket.
About 150 feet. Nice clean up shot for Marty.
Yeah.
Leaking a little bit to the left.
Yeah, just gets going on him. That's going to be a tough putt.
Here's Isaiah from about the same distance.
A little bit more hyzer, I think Isaiah's going to have to put on this than Marty did. Oh, no, he's going straight at it. And that looks perfect.
Right under the basket.
Abe actually made it through the mouth onto the downslope of the ramp. I really thought, when I saw him throw that, I thought it was a bad shot coming out with that much anhyzer, but that thing is just so overstable, it flexed back.
And here you are in that bunker.
Yeah, so I made it all the way into the bunker off the drive. It's still 40 feet with the mound in the way.
Looks like a little bit of disappointment on your face on the release, but you're there for a perfect par.
Yeah, can't be too mad about the par, but you do want to give those a run when you're given the opportunities. Oh, Marty's actually a lot closer than I thought. He must have got a good bounce off a tree. Is Abe coming up to tap in his 3 as well?
That's shaping up to be another star par for the card.
Yeah, par on this hole is not bad. To get out of those trees unscathed is something incredible. So a bunch of 3s on this is probably strokes on the field on most cards.
Hole 13, we call it Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
All the big maples that guards the top of the hill, the hanging basket. Distance from the tee to the opening is about 170 feet. And then from the big oak tree up to the basket, you're looking at another 240.
Just to go back to the last hole, Jake Voskamp with the only 2 on the round. From what I understand, he got it all the way up on the shelf and made the putt. Good for him. This is a forehander's dream. If you have that power forehand, which I know Abe does, and I'm pretty sure that's it. The rest of us stick to mainly backhands. If you have that power forehand, you can flex something down there. Marty gets a great kick off that tree. Could have got kicked left, ended up kicked right into the middle of the fairway. He's gonna have a tough upshot for to save his par, but not impossible. Abe has so much power in his forehand. I wouldn't be surprised if he can push one through the gap.
Gets that one a little bit turned over.
Yeah,
But a good kick keeps him on the edge of the fairway, not in the bush.
Yeah, you can get really pinched off on the left there. It's just there's a lot of trees up that fairway, and if you can't get back to it, then there's trouble. Isaiah's got some sort of mid-range in his hand, just playing for the smoother, straighter shot. As he turns it into the trees on the right.
Gets up a little bit. But he snuck through, and he'll have a
full flight.
Backdoor line on his way up to the basket.
You can't ask for much more than that when you push it through the trees on the right. So I go for the backhand. I go for a G-Star T-Bird, trying to just hyzer flip and drift this one.
Late flip, and takes him up the fairway. Finishes just on the edge with a good kick back to the center. This hole is playing .32 over par for the round. Here's Marty lining up his second shot, just trying to flex it down the fairway.
Looks good, and then he catches a tree on the left-hand side. Abe actually has a wide open corridor here to get up and down. It's a little tight, but it's there. And he catches a tree. He's got a long putt now to try to save his par. Marty with the forehand outreach. Does that beautifully. Drops it onto the basket. This is where Isaiah's drive got to, through the trees. Contemplating how he's going to run it. I think he has to lean back to get away from that tree. Trying to collect his round back together. And just puts it off the cage. Oh,
big putt for Abraham.
That was a huge putt for 3. What a way to save your par. As I said, very good putter. Very good at distance. Very controlled at distance.
Ka-ching.
So you want to see. This is for my 2. In my mind, I thought after how I've been putting, I'm like, I got to lay this up. But something came over me, and I made it.
Not to be big putted.
No, I think Abe making that kind of gave me inspiration.
Looking at the camera in victory. Big smiles, big grins.
Gotta love when you do this hole. This hole is much tighter than it looks. It is tough to get all the way up and down.
There were only 3 on the day. Cam Zanini, Chris Brown, and Gavin Cathy.
Yep. Two power forehanders. Not a surprise to see them up there getting the 2. So I think Marty took a... What did Marty take there? A 5 or a 4? Marty got a 4, right? Because he threw that forehand up shot.
First bogey of the round.
Yes, indeed. And kind of pushes him... back down to only -1 for the round, which, again, at this point, he was -10 almost coming in here in the first round.
We're playing Pet Cemetery right now, named for its little graveyard right off to the right side of the green. Make sure you pay your respects to the pets on your way by. It's a par 4, 455 feet, playing from the long tee pad again this round. And you just want to get this one straight and a little bit to the left, not too far, so you have a good shot chasing the green. And here's Chris. Solid power. Nice and flat. Gets a little bit of flex out of it.
You don't see it, but it caught that tree in the middle and just kicked me straight down and to the left. It's actually in the perfect spot, in my opinion.
Is that power from Abe?
Yeah, I think he's going for a little extra here, trying to get down into the pit.
Got caught by a couple of those tree branches. Lost a little bit of distance.
And honestly gets put right in the perfect location in front of the short tee pad. So he'll have a wide open look at the for the layup on the 3. This one's seen a lot of work since I've played it last. You never used to be able to fight through on the right side, and as you can see, it works. Isaiah just sneaks away a bit left, a bit farther left than I'm assuming he wanted. Marty with that flippy halo right that he's been throwing all day. Again, sneaks out left on him.
Yeah, you're topping.
Isaiah coming in from here, he's going to have to throw a hyzer, which is pretty routine here because he wanted to stop before it goes past the basket. Looks great. Looks like it could go in. As it just goes, I think, a little bit long.
Definitely gave it a good bid there. There you are with your trusty AVR X3.
Yep, just trying to put it out to the right, have it kind of fall into the basket. You don't want to be too long here. You want it to be right on target. The basket is sitting right on the edge of the pit, so if you go too far, you have a death putt coming back. This one surprised me. It looked like Marty was going to try and throw a hyzer at the basket, but he's actually looking down in between the two trees for a bit of a flex shot.
Marty doing Marty things and puts that one over.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit long, but he'll have a nice clean comebacker.
That's where Abe's drive got to. Just absolutely perfect, nothing in the way, and then catches the tree on the left, putting him into the pit. So he's got this uphill over the juniper putt to save his 3.
And he
yeah,
smashes
buddy,
it.
putting really well. Abe coming in to
smash with that big birdie putt, taking him down to -5 on the tournament.
Mm-hmm. You can see with very little movement from Abe, just a little bit of leg, a little bit of elbow, and just pops into the basket. Marty with the death putt to save it, and sure enough, as the common miss when you're trying to putt at a big cliff edge, he came up a little bit low.
Here you are, lining up your putt with that cliff edge in the background.
Mm-hmm. I had somebody from the 2 holes previous, hole 12, the gap one, just walk out of the bushes and come into my view. So I just decided just to walk it off and come back and reset.
Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Smart decision, smart plays equal good putts.
Yes. It was nice of my card to not pressure me into making that putt during. As long as I was out and back before my 30 seconds was up, I was perfectly right to do it. So everything was good. Marty comes in, makes his putt for 4.
Here we are, hole 15, the big bomber on the course. Now that we're getting back into the open,
mm-hmm.
be able to put some power on your drive.
Yeah, so for 15, you want to kind of put a disc out as far as you can here into the short grass, and then you have another 200 and something feet upshot into the basket over the hill and down in towards the basket. This one here, you need every inch of distance in order to make that second shot easier, but the second shot is really where the strokes are made on this hole. As you can see, it just nuzzled over this thing. If you land on the hillside, you are given a free drop on top of the hill because of the hillside eroding away, and we don't want people standing on it. So
this hole was playing as one of the harder holes on the course, coming in at .18 over par for the round. And there's Chris getting every bit of mustard that he could onto it, coming back center fairway.
Mm-hmm.
Liked by the spotters out there.
Got lucky to get through the tree branches on the right, but it's pretty close to what I wanted. Abe trying to go for extra distance, gets that turned over into the sumacs. That's going to be trouble. Oh, felt bad. The MP50 card behind us was a threesome, and they were playing the shorts, and they kept coming up on us on every hole. But just the nature of the game some days. As Isaiah drops a pretty good shot, probably needed a little more distance, but the angle was right.
Saw it off a little bit. He'll be in the edge of the sumacs there.
And still throwing that flippy Halo Wraith here. Although sometimes he makes it look not flippy and sometimes he makes it look flippy. I don't understand. Abe from the sumacs, short and right. Lucky to have room to reach back and throw his thumber. Puts himself back into the sumacs in the middle of the fairway.
left with in a decent spot to have a good upshot. Here's Isaiah trying to do the same thing as Abraham and recovery via tomahawk.
Yeah, these sumacs aren't growing very tall, but they block every single movement you can make around your chest and legs, so overhand kind of makes sense.
And there you go. He had a nice glidey float landing on the right side of the fairway. Being a good spot to try and go for the pitch up.
Marty from short and left, I think, than he wanted. Still goes for that spike hyzer around the trees.
Gets hung up on that birch tree, and he'll be putting from there for his third shot.
It's honestly not even that bad. So this is kind of really where you want to be. I got my drive almost perfect. And from here, you can go forehand spike. Or for me, I like the fact that the thumber just kind of falls straight down and I don't have to worry about distance control. Although it is still pretty far. Probably be playing like 240 feet maybe.
You can see you've got a pretty strong crosswind left to right. You can tell by that marker blowing in the tree right there.
So I got that one okay. It kind of hit just to the right. I saw it hit to the trees just to the right of the mouth there. So that's actually right on target for the basket. But
here's Isaiah. Gets away from him a little bit.
just a bit. That's the problem with the forehand is you're trying to feather it in to have it hyzer at the right moment. And Abe from the tree still has room to move, which is bonus for him because he could have been behind those sumacs.
He throws that one, gets it down the hill to the basket. Here's Isaiah putting from just the top of the hill.
Yeah, not one you really want to run because if you miss it, you're gone past. So this is where my thumber caught. It actually hit that tree and it caught it on the hillside. So I am allowed a free drop back behind the white stakes, but I have to putt over this sumac.
Able to get that one on the green there for a nice par tap-in. Here's Marty for birdie.
From a long distance. Just drops it in there.
And just rolls down the backside of the hill. I'll have an easy tap-in for par.
You can see what happens if you might as well be an elevated basket because if you miss it, left, right, high, low, it's not stopping within the circle. It's just going to keep going, especially with the hard pack ground.
And there's Abraham taking a par. And Isaiah as well. Or no, sorry, Isaiah took a bogey there.
Yes, he did. His third shot got kind of caught up in the trees. So not bad. Bunch of pars, a bogey. It's a hole that the drive isn't that important, but the second shot can get away from you pretty quickly.
Coming into hole 16, 580 feet. This one's playing an average of .32 over par.
It's definitely a difficult hole. It requires 2 precision accurate shots in order to have it even a look at a putt for a 3. I'd say all in all, the weather at this point in the round was actually getting pretty good. The rain had stopped a few holes ago. You're beginning to dry out. Your hands are beginning to get some grip back.
Definitely want to finish the tournament on a high note in these last few holes.
I'm taking that G-Star T-Bird out again, trying to take the Marty line to the left of the trees.
And there it is, flexing nicely for you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Getting you all the way around the bend.
Yeah, that's incredible for me. I was super happy to see where I got up to. It's as Abe steps up behind me quickly and actually blasts the flex forehand all the way up to the left side of the fairway on past the optimal landing zone.
One of the longest drives I've seen on this hole.
Yeah, that was incredible. Marty's trying to take that line as well and just gets up a little high, grabs some trees and pushes them down into the middle. He could be worse, but still doesn't get through cleanly. Isaiah looks to play the safe hyzer into the optimal landing zone, and it just gets away from him. Just ever so slightly hyzer, maybe 20 feet too far left. Marty's got a tough spot from here because he's got rough run up and has to throw full power.
He's able to get that to turn over and gets a good tree kick and keeps him on the edge of the fairway with a clear line towards the basket. He's got about 200 feet towards it, but still a clear line.
Isaiah taking his harp, trying to just flex a forehand down into the middle of the fairway. But he's kind of pinched off with a bunch of trees, has to stand in an awkward position. Just gets away from him. You'll remember that location over there from where almost where Andrew Leyland last round was sneaking himself into.
Here you are, kind of cut off a little bit. Basket's just behind those junipers that you can't really see. Underneath those pines.
Yeah.
Going with patent pending. Looks like you're just going to go right over them. Try and go right for the basket.
That's the idea. Realistically, you want to be on the left side of the rock so you can choose whatever way you want. But I have him kind of pinched off. It's not that far. It's probably less than 200 feet to the basket. That's not too bad. A little bit left. A little bit left of the basket. Got a putt for 3. And this is where Abe's forehand got to, that flex forehand. That's why I keep saying it is the shot if to get up here. If you can do it. He's a little bit in the trees. Throws a beauty second shot, though. That's got to be close. This is where Isaiah got to after his errant forehand.
Little chip out.
Yep, nothing wrong with that. Got it back to the middle. The fact that Isaiah needs to jump to see the basket means these junipers are high. As he throws a little tomahawk that catches the tree branch and falls short. Marty with his recovery shot got his second shot all the way up to almost basket high. He was asking if there was a putt, and fortunately I think it's just going to be a layup for Marty because as he tries to run it now, he's just not laying that up for us. A little bit low ceiling coverage there for him, but not for Isaiah. Isaiah wide open. Try and save his 5 or 4.
That was 5.
So he just doesn't get enough power. It's been a long day. It's tough to get power on your putt when you're this strong.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, I've changed my putt completely at this point because my confidence is low, but just trying to keep it on target and trying to keep the round moving along, right? As Abe is putting from the bushes, it really looked like he was parked. But still, just makes the putt for the 3. That's got to be one of only a few.
One of the few birdies on the day.
Mm-hmm.
We only had 5 of them. Abraham Neufeld, Adam Beatty, Cam Zanini, Kalen Schatt, and Nahan Fahey. And there you can see the look of defeat on your face.
Some days it's just not your time. It's okay, though. Still playing disc golf. Loving it. Marty came in there with the 4, I believe, right? That's a pretty good 4 from the early kick out.
Yeah, he was able to save the par. Coming into hole 17. 295 feet. Same pin or tee pads as the first round. Basket is in the same position up on the edge of this cliff with a steady drop off, probably about 20 feet in elevation from the basket down to the flat plains below.
Yeah, it's a tough shot. You have to really push your disc low and hard to get it to travel the distance, and then you're not getting much action off the hill, so you have to kind of land it halfway up the hill and have it hope to stop in time before it gets to the chains.
Yep, this one was one of the tougher holes, playing at .39 over par.
Mm-hmm.
Consistently with coming out of the tunnel and into the open, that wind was spiraling out there, so you can never really get a good read on it. The junipers, they don't move too much in the wind, so even when it is blowing, you can't really tell. You can only just hear it and play a guessing game of how much it's actually blowing out there. So there was Abraham putting himself into the bunker on the left side of the basket.
Not a bad spot to be, but it's a scary putt coming out of that bunker.
And here you are, putting that one wide.
Yeah.
Got all the way, got through part of the way, landed down. You'll have an upshot for par there.
Yeah, if you don't get your drive perfect on this one, you're more likely just laying up and taking your 3 because there's no running this from distance.
There's Marty,
who took a 5 on this from the shorts in the first round, gets a great shot into the first of the 2 crevasses there. He'll have a, circle's edge putt, still deathy, but maybe a little more runnable than other angles. So Isaiah just softs that one a bit, doesn't quite commit to the full throw. So I'm just trying to throw this into the hillside and have it slide up to the basket. And I just let it go high and right. I'll be down there with Marty, where Marty's drive got to, having to make that big scary putt.
Here's Isaiah with a second shot.
Yeah, he's got kind of pinched off here. It's kind of tough to see what happened.
Gets that one laid up nicely.
Yeah. Here's Marty's drive, 20 feet, but look behind it. There is nothing to stop a disc if it does not hit something, or even if it hits something and it rolls away. Maybe a fortuitous rake will help you out, but doubt it.
There's the big 2. Keep him in it.
Yeah, Marty makes his comeback after the last round when he took a double bogey here.
And there you are with your par putt.
Mm-hmm.
And here's Abraham.
This is such a scary putt. You got to get it high enough to get it over that mound. So you're hoping that you just hit something, band, chains, anything. Because I can guarantee you he cannot see the cage.
All you can see from there is the band.
Yeah, so you got to pitch it up.
And he makes it.
What a great shot. 1 of 3. We saw 2 of the 3
made
twos
on the day.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Andrew LaFleur being the 3rd player in the division, taking this birdie on the round.
And then Isaiah just casually tries to tap in the 15-footer, and it just pulls it way right. There's something about shotgun starts that just make it good. Everybody hanging out together, finishing at the same time. There you go, as Isaiah makes the last one there.
And then having some fun with the mini. Coming into the last hole of the round, hole 18, par 4, 636.
Mm-hmm.
This one averaged at plus 0.21 on the round.
So something we should tell you, from the chase card, we know with Kalen Schatt having 1 hole to play and Marty having 1 hole to play that they are tied. So we know this going up to this tee pad, knowing that Kalen has to play hole 1 and Marty has to play hole 18 for the win of the event.
And it's not like one player's on an easy hole and another one's on a hard hole. Hole 1, as we know from the previous rounds, is a pretty difficult hole. We know hole 18, as we just saw from the drone flyover, that you're throwing over this big quarry gap over, and then landing by that rock pile is about 410 feet, and that leaves you with a solid 200-foot, 175 upshot to the basket, trying to play it as a 4. Here's Marty. Big power drive, gets turned over a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. After knowing that he needed to at least par this to do to force the playoff, he pulls that one out and yanks it right.
There's Abraham.
Gets that up a little high, a little nose up maybe.
But he's able to make it over the gap and land by the pine tree. Getting a little bit of a flex.
Yeah, I knew that I needed to. I knew I needed to push this one a little farther, and I just tried to reach down and pull and get a little extra distance, and that's what happened. The disc got turned over on me. It's okay. I'll be up on in the open there. Isaiah comes up and just pulls that one way right. Hopefully it flexes back all the way, and it doesn't. He is in the trees.
Right on the edge, just not too far into it.
Yeah, so from here, where I am standing, I am looking straight down that cliffside. Like, if I was to fall, I'd fall 10 feet into a pile of rocks. So I am worried about my footing, have to throw patent pending.
Living on the edge.
Living on the edge. And I throw arguably one of the best shots I've ever thrown as that gets up just outside circle 1.
And there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right behind the bushes.
I think it's Isaiah. No, it's Marty up next.
And he throws this low line drive.
If you would have caught any of those junipers, any of those branches, anything, it would have been spelled disaster for him.
And here's Isaiah.
That's right. I can't remember what he's throwing here. Maybe an overhand? No, he had a gap out of there and just catches the tree.
Now here's Abraham.
Yeah, Abe in that typical short left spot where there's nothing really you can do except for a flex forehand. Luckily, Abe is very good at forehands, so hopefully he can get something up and down here. Looks okay. It's got the height and the angle right. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Can't complain. Be able to go for his par from there.
This is where Isaiah's second shot got to. Not optimal, but he looks like he's put that up nicely for a inside circle putt for his par. Gotta wonder if Marty's thinking about running this right now, not knowing how Kalen finished on hole 1. Smartly just lays this one up perfectly next to the basket.
Plops that one in for another slam dunk.
Requiring Kalen now to have to 3 hole 1, which we all know is difficult.
Marty doing Marty things. And there's Abraham quietly laying up, taking another par, shooting 2 down on the round, but quietly moving himself up into a podium finish.
That's true.
Here you are, going for yours. Just off the rocks, a little bit long.
Yeah, I tried to make that for the crowd, but not meant to be.
You'll tap that in for your par.
I'll do well.
Isaiah with a big putt to finish out the round.
That's a good one to finish on. Really boost it after a not so optimal round for Isaiah.
And there you are with your tap in.
Gotta shoot it to Abe on the really clean, kind of unassuming 2 down on the round, which was the second to best round, I think, because Marty's shooting. Marty also shot 2 down, and Kalen with the 4 down to come back and tie Martin Hendel in regulation.
The honorary handshakes after the round.
Yeah, really fun group of guys, really good to play with. Love them. So everyone's happy. Everyone's, doesn't matter how it went down.
So there we are. -9 for Marty, -3 for yourself, -7 for Abraham, and Isaiah finishing at +3.
As I said, not Isaiah's day. He's usually a much better player than that. He'll say it, we'll say it, we'll all say it. So some days it just doesn't work out for you. Abe and Marty playing okay. And here's Kalen. He's getting his own intro for the playoff because he didn't get on film until right now. And then the guy who's been on all 3 rounds.
All 2, both rounds coming into the playoff.
Yeah, I'm calling the playoff another round.
All right. We had a coin flip with tournament director Carl, and Marty won the coin flip, and he let Kalen have the tee box first.
Okay. And Kalen, who having just played hole 1, that's his last hole, should be well versed on what to do here.
Now, Kalen and Jake from our first round are part team members of Gander Disc Golf, and so during their practice rounds, Jake showed him a few of the insider lines.
Helpful. Marty's been taking this putter approach on the right as Kalen just threw call it a perfect, through the tree gap. Ooh, that one looks a little farther than Marty's used to playing.
A floaty, few feet further, but relatively in the same spot that he's been laying up to the first 2 rounds.
Close, but this one here he's pinched. Before he had
had
these like flex shots that he can make the gap. This one here, I don't even know if he can see it.
No, you could tell that when he walked over to the left, that's where his discs sat in the first and second round.
Yep, so he's got to put a bit of ante on this one in order to get the gap hit.
Just trying to get his bearings, and he pumps this one out.
Looks okay. and then gets a rough kick at the end. I don't know exactly what he's going to have to look at from over there, but I can tell you it's not optimal. Kalen a little bit left. He's got a little more rocky footing that I think he would like.
Yeah, you can see he's kicking a few of them out of the way. Winds up.
Ooh, gets a good shot. Low, hard.
Let's go, buddy.
Oh, and then he gets a great kick towards the basket.
He's going to be about 15 feet pin high with that tree kick. Coming back to the basket.
Marty having to go forehand roller again. Third one of the 3 rounds.
Marty doing Marty things.
I wonder if that stopped. It must have stopped if Kalen is going up next.
And it put the pressure on Kalen that he's got to now make the putt.
Got a circle's edge putt. Oh, and he airballs it to another 25-footer.
And he's still
away. Marty must have got a great kick on that tree then. As Kalen comes up, and he airballs another one. This gives Marty the chance to make this putt for the win.
To my knowledge, it's Kalen's first time being in this playoff situation. No, second time. And
the slow motion into the chains. Congratulations, Marty, for the well-deserved win. You played great. Congratulations to Kalen for coming back and tying Martin Hendel. I know those 2 putts are going to hurt a little bit, but you got to feel proud of yourself for what you did and how far you came along.
Well, I want to thank Innova. I want to thank all the people that came out. And the rounds it was tough weather conditions, but the group I played with, they were a good group of guys. They were positive. And there's a lot of good upcoming players. And they were, I had to play off against Kalen. And it was a victory that, I didn't feel the greatest winning, but I mean, I got to that position to win, and I think Kalen, next time he gets to that position, he'll be able to weather those nerves. But he'll won. This place is beautiful, and I can't wait to come back and play next year and many more years to come. Thank you.
I love the maple syrup trophies. First, second, I think even third got it. I'm not entirely sure, but it's always a fun thing to get a little something extra. Again, congratulations, Marty. Really did well, really played the course well. Not his best second round, but did enough what he had to do to win it. Good job, Kalen, on coming from chase card and almost taking it down.
Cam moving his way back up the leaderboard to chase 4th. Yep. Andrew working his way back up the leaderboard to tie you for 6th place.
Abe Neufeld, you saw, watch out. Cam came back a little bit. Anyways, thank you to Gabe. This is his property. It is private, but he lets people he knows come in and play, and we love him for that. Thank you to Carl and Nico for the TDs of the tournament. They did a fantastic job. Thank you to Canadian Disc Golf Productions for doing the thing. Make sure to like and subscribe to help the channel along. I am Chris Brown.
And I'm Wally.
We'll see you next time.
Trig Memorial.